Show.
I think it's the personality that you have on each and every team is a little bit different. And I think that's one of the most challenging things for you as a coach. Like last year's team, we had great leadership. We had a lot of older players that had played a lot. They were very confident guys. They knew how to prepare. They went into the games. They played fast. They had fun. They weren't affected by anything that happened in the game. And when you play with guys that have less experience and have played less and are younger, and you can call it competitive maturity. It's a little more challenging to get them to play with consistency, to know how to prepare for the game, to do things right all the time, and how it's going to impact and affect your ability to, sort of be successful. But also you have to deal with the complacency factor. That last year's team had a great sense of purpose. People forget the year before. We got knocked out. We lost at Auburn. We got knocked out. We didn't go to the SEC championship game. We ended up going to the Capital One Bowl or whatever. So the players had something to prove, and they were really sort of with it. And a lot of guys came back because they wanted to prove something. And they were a lot of good players, and they had a lot of experience and a lot of maturity. We had 6 guys that were true freshmen. When we won the 2017 national championship game against Georgia on the field, on offense, when we won the game at the end of the game in overtime. And those guys were a lot of them on last year's team.
That was remarkable because a number of them have a very clear chance to leave, Nick. And this is when you often talk about, I think this is so important, adding value. We're here to help you maximize your value in all phases of your life. And guys came back collectively.
And I think all those guys did. Najee Harris would have been a 2nd or 3rd round pick. He got picked in the 1st round. Smitty was a 2nd round pick. He got picked in the 1st round. So you're talking about guys making $15, $20 million more, but they had something to really prove. And, this year's team, I love the players on this year's team. But it's a different dynamic when you feel like as a coach, you're always trying to help players make good choices and decisions so that they have a chance to be successful personally, academically, and athletically. But it takes a lot of personal discipline on their part. I always talk about feeling versus choice. You're going to do what you feel like doing, or you're going to choose to do the things you need to do to be successful. Well, that takes a lot of self-discipline, a lot of mental toughness to force yourself to do things that you don't feel like doing. And then on the other hand, you got to make a good choice and decision about knowing things that you're not supposed to do that you want to do. You don't need to do those things either, because they can have a detrimental effect on your ability to be successful. So this is all a part of growing up. And I think you're going to have those kinds of ups and downs as you lose 25% of your team and you replace those guys with younger players on your team. So it just becomes a work in progress to be consistent. But I do think the one thing that has made this program sort of be able to sustain success is we've always really tried to get the players to make good choices and decisions, to do the right things so that they create value for themselves. And the players that buy into that inevitably do very well. They do very well in school. They do very well in their life, even if they didn't play in the NFL. But they do very well because they created great habits. And that's the thing that we're always striving for. And sometimes we feel like we're having a little more success than others, but it's a work in progress. It's like being a parent. Everybody out there that's been a parent, that sometimes your children don't do things exactly like you'd like for them to. And you get a little frustrated, but you try to figure out a better way. And that's what we're always trying to do with, the players on our team. And because all those individual players make the team what it is. And that's what we're still working to try to find that chemistry and identity on this team where we can play consistently. And we need to do it now. It's the end of the season. It's November. For all those things that we're talking about, we still create an opportunity for ourselves. If we can finish the right way, we can have a great season.
You just heard the majority of head coach Nick Saban last night That's the longest answer I've ever heard him give in any setting, anytime, anywhere. But that's not unusual this year. He's evolved. In maybe one word, it's just more personal.
We need to play.
Anyway, that's Nick Saban. We'll hear more from his show, Hey Coach, from Baumhauer, which is where I usually meet Lars Anderson on Monday nights. And we also see Eli Gold there. But that's not happening today as he is eating Reubens in Lincoln, Nebraska. How are you, Lars? Matt? You know,
I'm doing good. Doing good. It's actually snowing here, Matt. It is snowing. Looking out the window. But, yeah, that was a very reflective Nick Saban last night at Hey Coach. And that's the scene in which he typically is the most relaxed. And, you know, he has a long-term relationship with Tom Rinaldi. He's very comfortable with Tom. And, you know, Miss Terry's always there. Same people from the audience are typically there. And really what he distilled in that 5-minute answer was sort of just the core philosophy of the Alabama program and his sort of core values of what he preaches. And that's, you know, making the right decisions, small and large, and discipline when it comes to your body, you know, making your body do things that it doesn't want to do. that is kind of what football and preparation is all about in the Alabama program, Matt.
Lars is in Nebraska. He'll be back next week. Jay is in Athens, Georgia. And last night he watched his daughter, Sarah Ashley, who is really, even though she played last year, still a freshman at Georgia on the women's basketball team, as they absolutely slammed Gardner-Webb by a score of 97-45. So Jay's spending some time with his family. Good for him, because I plan on doing that later today. Hey, Lars, do you know where Gardner-Webb is?
I do not. Do you?
I don't even. My guess is it's like a Carolina, like a North Carolina school. But maybe somebody can answer that on our screen as we come to you through StreamYard, and you can join us on YouTube and through BamaInsider, and just click on what's the best way, Lars? Get on YouTube and then
click on YouTube and just click Bama. Just search BamaInsider, and you'll come right to us. Yeah, and all throughout the Jay Barker Radio Network. But Matt, did you get a chance to catch the Dolphins last night and Tua coming off the bench and leading Miami to an upset over the Ravens? You know, Tua, he had hurt his finger on his throwing hand. He's been very injury prone, obviously, since he's gotten to the NFL and stretching back to college and that bad hip injury. But last night, coming off the bench, going 8 for 13, 158 yards, no interceptions, ran for a touchdown, and just played pretty confident football against an excellent Ravens defense. You know, a lot of people think the Ravens are the top team in the AFC, and there you have the Dolphins and Tua playing so well. But I guess the larger question coming out of that game, Matt, is Tua the long-term answer for the Dolphins? And it seemed like, you know, all the way up to the end of the trading deadline, they were in talks with Deshaun Watson and his agent.
By the way, as we show this on your stream screens, they're showing the pass he completed to the right guard that he stretched into the end zone. He was an ineligible receiver, but boy, did he make an effort to get into the end zone. What I saw in Tua made me more encouraged about his future as an NFL quarterback, because he didn't seem pressed to do it all himself. And I know he took it in on a sneak, right, to kind of ice the game, but he played within himself, and it just looked like there was a certain level of comfort that I saw in Tua that maybe I haven't seen yet in the NFL. Because look at his stats aren't overwhelming, are they, Lars?
No, I mean, just for his whole career in the NFL, they're not overwhelming. But he does seem to be not forcing the ball as much as last year, and you know, for whatever reason, the Dolphin fan base does not particularly care for Tua. And they so many the Dolphin fans that I know are ready to move on from him. But I think it's way too early to assess whether or not Tua is a franchise quarterback. But he certainly doesn't seem to be the same player he was before the hip injury. But again, I think progress is being made.
He's maturing. I saw that in his game management, I guess probably the best way to put it, last night as they defeated a very good Ravens team. I think he probably gained favor among those critics down in Miami, Florida. Lars, what are you eating today in Lincoln, Nebraska? Or are you in Omaha, or does it matter? Or should I actually give your location since you are?
There may be some steak involved. I've said this to people. It's hard to find a good steak, in my estimation, in Birmingham. Fleming's is good, but that's a chain. So going to a steakhouse in Nebraska that is not a chain is going to be a priority for some point today, Matt. Prime rib.
Hey, okay, let me ask you this. Occasionally, I order these huge boxes from Omaha Steaks. Now, that's about as Nebraska as you can get. Are they really as good as they seem to me, or would a guy who was raised in Nebraska endorse Omaha Steak?
They are. They're as good as you can get. I mean, people in Nebraska order Omaha Steaks, and I encourage everybody. Just get you can order get a wide selection of different steaks and hamburgers and all sorts of good stuff. It's my favorite.
If you will, look down to the bottom left of your stream screen, and next week there'll be a little Omaha Steaks logo.
Yes.
We just sold a bunch of steaks. All right. Lars Anderson is in Nebraska. Matt Coulter in the AVX studios. Jay Barker's taking a day off. He's been with his family. Hey, I will later today. And I know when Lars gets back, he will too. So anyway, you're listening to the Jay Barker Show. When we get back, a new NIL on the horizon for Bo Nix. You're listening to the Jay Barker Show.
Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
Your home for Alabama Crimson Tide football. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
It looked like a rain.
Don't miss a play at the Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Your front row seat to all the action. Place bets on all professional and most college sports at the counter, kiosk, or on your phone. Then catch the game on one of our 20 big screens from the comfort of the newly remodeled Timeout Lounge. Plus, the PRR Sports app gives you access to live, in-play sports betting. Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Be more than a fan. Be a player. Must be 21.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So your headlights are getting dim? With the seasons changing, now's a great time to change them. Upgrading your headlights can ensure you'll be safe and ready to handle darkness and fog. Oh, and we recommend replacing in pairs. That way you won't have uneven lighting over time. You can get all of your lighting needs fast with our next day delivery and free same-day store pickup. Getting the job done just got easy.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Has the pandemic affected your business? Even with more and more customers going online in the past 5 years, online business has grown greatly due to the pandemic. Now more than ever, it's important to have a strong online presence so that customers can find your business and products easily. That's where Townsquare comes in to help. Go to mylocalcustomer.com for a free competitive analysis to see how your business stands up to the competition. And if you're one of the first to sign up, you'll get $500 in free advertising on this radio station. That's mylocalcustomers.com. Townsquare not only can help you find more local customers online, they'll also help you grow your business to a new level with premium website services that give you every day and no contracts to sign, there's no better time to join. Not only that, Town Square also has a dedicated marketing specialist who will be with you every step of the way, making changes that will benefit you and especially your business. It's fast, easy, and you can cancel your subscription at any time. So hurry to mylocalcustomers.com and get your $500 in free advertising today.
Hello, I'm Randy Smalley, owner of Randy Smalley Floor and Tile in Northport. With the holidays upon us, family and friends finally getting back together, now is the time to redo and upgrade the flooring in your home. We have hardwood in many styles and colors, tiles from Italy and Spain, and carpet to keep those little elves' toes warm on these cold days. With free estimates and being local, all you need on this year's wish list is a call to us at 205-758-4040 and let Randy Smalley Floor and Tile make this season the most special, shiny, and brightest ever.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But Spanish
is pretty bad.
When you learn a language, you gotta actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind. Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
No matter your learning style or experience level, Babbel has lessons designed for you that will get you speaking quickly and confidently.
I tried learning Spanish before, but I couldn't stick with it until I found Babbel.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
I can't wait to use our new language skills on our upcoming adventures.
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Very nice afternoon, a good supply of sunshine. The high today 68, turning noticeably colder tonight. Mostly fair with low at 45. The weekend dry and very cool, sunny tomorrow and Sunday. The high tomorrow 54, Sunday's high at 58. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 62 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Welcome back into the A. Parker Show. Jay taking the day off. He's on assignment. Lars is on assignment, but he's taking a break from the snow in Nebraska to join us online through our streaming network. And join that through YouTube, BamaInsider, and also along our many affiliates throughout the state of Alabama and even the panhandle of Florida. Hey, Lars, in the next break, you've got to take your laptop, okay, over there to the window because I really want to see snow. Okay.
You want to see snow?
Are you there? Oh, you can do it right now. Sure. This is
Yeah.
hey.
This is
live streaming. Lars Anderson at home somewhere in Nebraska.
Snow. Bridget,
I actually see snowflakes.
You can go skiing in this stuff.
We need some audio on Lars unless he just walked away and unplugged himself.
Yep.
But
all right. Yes. Can you hear me? There's quite a bit of snow. I can report. I can be the James Spann of our show.
That looks like something if it happened in Alabama tomorrow, the whole state would literally freeze.
This is a light dusting, and it would shut down all of Alabama. Schools would be let out early. Bread would be flying off the shelves.
Yep. Hey, what's the word you told me about wrapping paper and doing your paper route at 4:00 in the morning and how absolutely brutal that was? What's the most memorable snow blizzard ever in your childhood growing up there in Nebraska?
Good question. I just remember several where we were let out or didn't have a school. I mean, snow days were the best, and just head to the biggest hill you can find with a toboggan or any type of sled and just, staying out sledding till you're so cold you can't even move. But Yeah, snow days were absolute joy, and I'm sure there's snow days at Alabama too, but it's not like you can really run and go do anything in it. But as if you're a kid, how about you? What's your most memorable snow experience when you were growing up?
When I was growing up, we just didn't have many. Now, 1993, and I'm sure you've heard about it, the blizzard of '93. I was an adult. I had children. But that was incredible because there were drifts that were like 3 and 4 feet tall. Never seen anything like that in my life. I lost a child walking in the front yard. I turned around and went, "Where's Madison?" And all I could see was the little those fuzzy balls on the top of a toboggan. That's all I could see. She was completely underneath. But it's really cool for kids in this part of the country because it is so rare. Like,
yeah,
it was just every winter. I mean, did snow just stay on the ground from like December through February?
Just yeah, absolutely. Early December, late November, all the way, the whole way through. And then every night you're driving on ice, and you just get used to it living here. I mean, and also there's more infrastructure to deal with snowstorms here in Nebraska than there is in Alabama. It's hard to get the roads salted, for example, just because, again, there's not a lot of city resources are dedicated to something like that. But yeah, snow days were a big fabric of my childhood.
But it took a whole lot of snow to get a snow day in Nebraska. Hey, Lars, I want to take just a minute, and I truly wish for 6 hours, maybe less, you had been with me last night, because I went to the Beyond Blue Mike Slive Foundation, their event that was at Protective Life Stadium. It's just protective, isn't it? It's Protective Stadium, UAB's new football facility. And just had a blast. It was also for such a wonderful cause. And I know Anna Slive Harwood, and she was just a gracious host. You would have fit right in because it was Celebrity City. They all would have been clamoring for Lars Anderson's autograph of his new book, Tease It in the Sun. Boom, there, I did it.
He got it in. He worked it in. Anna has become a real friend of all of ours on the show. And, I had such a great relationship with Commissioner Slive, Mike Slive, and we would meet, I don't know, sometimes twice a month, and have breakfast at Salem's in his booth. That's still it's named after him now. But just talking about, he would give me life advice as much as sort of, any background information for a story. And we it just grew into a really tremendous friendship. And he enjoyed, he actually went out and bought, I think, all of my books, and he was insistent that I sign them for him. And, he obviously read them, and we would discuss the books and writing. And, he was constantly learning. And even though he was always the smartest guy in the room by far, he certainly wasn't the loudest guy in the room. And, he's for a long stretch, I think he was the most powerful man in all of college football. Certainly, you could make the case that Greg Sankey is now. Any commissioner of the SEC would be. But, you just go back to Mike's vision. For one, the SEC network is certainly part of his legacy. He was the driving force behind that. It was the biggest single launch in cable history. It went straight into 80 million homes. And I will say, fun fact, that I was actually doing work. I was doing work for Mike and the SEC network, and I penned the opening words that were uttered by Brent Musburger for the first words said on the SEC network. And it all started that the center of the college football universe is the corner of wherever the SEC offices are. But that's how it started. And so it was sort of just a audio essay. But but yeah, I mean, and Mike Slive's, Help End Prostate Cancer Foundation, been so successful. And I think it's just it's a tribute to the man. I mean, it's without Mike Slive, again, there's no SEC network, and there's probably no college football playoff. He was the driving force behind that as well. So what kind of impact did he have on you personally, Matt?
If I called and I just not doing well, who was his wonderful administrator, assistant? Can't remember her name. But I would call and I'd say, hey, it's Matt. She'd put me right through. Mike was the kind of guy that everybody loved, and he loved everybody. And there are very few people walking this planet that you can say that about. But I remember going into his office. By the way, he was the commissioner of the Great Midwest, then Conference USA, and then to the SEC. And I knew him all the way back to the Great Midwest days with UAB and the late Gene Bartow. But I went to meet with him because everybody knew what was on the horizon with the SEC network. There were other schools forming. There were other conferences that were putting. And I always wondered, why is the SEC lagging here? It doesn't seem like. Well, the reason they were lagging is because, and they weren't, they were being very, very thorough. And that's because Mike Slive. And as you just mentioned, that's why when they came out with the SEC network package, they had 80 million viewers. I mean, potentially. And that was because of who? Mike Slive. And I remember going to his office and I said, why aren't you doing this? He said, Matt, we're just waiting. We want to make sure it's done right. Did they do it right, Lars?
Yeah, absolutely. And it forced sort of forced the hands of other conferences to catch up just because of the money it generated for all the schools. And it gave, in a sense, the SEC an unfair advantage because, there's not a single school in the SEC where you look at their facilities and say, oh, these are terrible. I mean, maybe Vandy football, but that's by choice. But yeah, just, he came down and spoke to my classes at Alabama a few times, and I would go pick him up at his house in Vestavia, and he was up on the hill there, and just had a beautiful view of the valley, overlooking sort of Vestavia High School. And he loved nothing more than to go out there at night and have a cigar and just sort of sit back and reflect on the world. And but those hours I spent with him in the car when he would speak at my class was just so wonderful. It's just like, it wasn't. You would never think he was the most powerful guy in college sports, right? Because he was just so humble and wanting to know about your life, and he was just, again, probably the shrewdest commissioner and smartest and most visionary in SEC history.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this. He bought a home it was off Panorama up there.
Yeah.
It does overlook the valley that includes Vestavia, Hills High School, and parts of Dolly Ridge and all that down there. Kind of close. Should I say this? Kind of close to where we live.
It is. It's very close to where we live. Yes.
But he bought a house on the same circle that Boyd McWhorter, the SEC commissioner in the 70s and 80s, he was like 2 houses down. Talk about irony. Now, Boyd was an amazing commissioner too, and transitioned the SEC to many heights as well. I said before our last break I was going to bring up a new NIL for Bo Nix. Have you seen that Milo's is going to put their sauce in boiled peanuts? Now, does that get Lars' stamp of approval?
I've never had Milo's. Can you believe that?
Oh, my word. Then obviously you haven't had their boiled peanuts.
Nope.
You've never had a Milo's?
No, I've never had a Milo's.
You what? Salem's.
I know. I that'll be first thing on the agenda when I get back, Mac. We'll hit Milo's.
Yeah. We're going to go there next week. And then we're also, along with Omaha Steaks, we're going to get another little graphic down at the bottom that's going to say Milo's Boiled Peanuts. Hey, by the way, this show is being brought to you by our leader right down there. Speaking of Protective Stadium, Top Golf. Go play, have fun. You don't even have to be good golfer. You don't even have to be a golfer. Go play. And also by Sonny King, one of the finest, most established car dealerships in the state of Alabama. Lars Here's, they've been around since I've been around. So, is that a good thing for Sonny King? You're listening to the Jay Barker Show. There's Lars Anderson. I'm Matt Coulter. Jay's got the day off. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
1 in 7 men will face prostate cancer. Nearly 500 new cases diagnosed every day in the U.S. Traditional treatments can cause erectile dysfunction and urinary incontinence. But now there's a new option, high-intensity focused ultrasound, or HIFU.
Men who are really looking for an option that really preserves their urinary and sexual function are great candidates for HIFU treatment.
Preserve your quality of life. Call 866-4-VITURO or visit VituroHealth.com.
Hi, it's Jay Barker for AVX, Audio Video Excellence. They are the premier provider for custom audio-visual design and installation in the Southeast. AVX seeks excellence in everything it does, including a superior employee experience. AVX offers employees an industry-leading salary, insurance benefits, and 401k options. AVX technicians also receive the highest level of certification and continue training, making it one of the most awarded and decorated companies in the industry. Career opportunities are available now for technicians in Birmingham and Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Join the AVX team by contacting them at avxinc.com.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. If you're average and you're looking for a new pair of running or walking shoes, I suggest you go to an average shoe store, where they'll sell you a pair of average shoes built for the average person with average size feet. But here's the thing, you're not average. No one is. We all exercise differently. We run differently. We walk differently. And our feet come in all sorts of widths and lengths. That's why at the New Balance Birmingham store, we employ fit specialists who will conduct an in-depth analysis of your foot's size and shape, along with your gait, and then determine the best New Balance shoes custom fit to you. Because New Balance isn't your average shoe, and you're not average either. Experience the difference an unaverage custom fit makes today at the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, your feet will thank you.
Hi, it's Jay Barker. I want to tell you about my good friends Craig and Keith at Birmingham Broker. Go online at bhambroker.com. That's bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Got 7 kids, man, and we had to sell a lot of cars. And these guys are looking for a lot of inventory. They helped us with all the hassle. No stress for us. They did the process as far as the sales and everything. Handled it all the way through. White glove type service. You'll love it. Again, it's bhambroker.com. Sell your car through bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Hi, it's Jay Barker for Siebel's in downtown Homewood, and now's the time to get your special place ready. Come in and let Siebel's design your porch with Kingsley Bait outdoor furniture and one of their custom swinging beds. For the great room, you're going to need their Carson swivel recliner. Siebel's is the #1 Carson recliner dealer in the country, and Sarah and I, we've got one, and we absolutely love it. Be sure also to check out their famous custom-made beds and bunk beds built by Siebel's and made up with some of their best linens in town. Their staff can truly put your bed together like no other store. You can also follow Siebel's and shop on Instagram and Facebook. And be sure to call or go by their special store in downtown Homewood. The number is 800-448-1962. That's 800-448-1962. And just for listening, go to SiebelsCottage.com and order anything you want and type in Jay Barker for a special discount code. That's Jay Barker for a special discount code available only to our listeners for a limited time on the Jay Barker Show. Siebel's in downtown Homewood or online at SiebelsCottage.com.
It's Antonio Langham here to tell you about the easiest way to buy your tickets to your next high school game. Have you ever had to wait in line to buy a high school ticket or stop to get cash on the way to the game? There has to be a better way. There is. It's called GoFan. Check out GoFan.co the next time you need a ticket for a high school game. GoFan is easy, fast, and completely secure. You can buy tickets directly from your phone and just show the ticket at the gate. Download the GoFan app or visit GoFan.co now. That's GoFan.O.
Well, I think that my message has been, all those guys want to play better. They're anxious to try to improve and play better. And we need to do a better job with them so that they have a better opportunity to play better in terms of preparation. They have to make sure they're doing everything they can do in the right way so they can do that. I think they've responded well for the most part, and this has got to be an opportunity for us to improve and get better. I think everybody in the organization wants to help everybody on our team, get better. And when you have a segment of the team who is a little frustrated with their performance, I think it's especially important to be supportive and do everything that we can to help those guys, play better. But they have responded well. But I think we need to play better, as an entire team. I mean, there's not any part of our team that can improve. I think, and that's got to be the focus for everybody on our team.
There's Lars Anderson. He is in Nebraska. Matt Coulter in the AVX studios. Jay Barker watched Sarah Ashley lead the Georgia Bulldogs to a sounding defeat of Gardner, 97-45. Which, by the way, Lars, I got part of it right. Gardner Webb is in North Carolina. It's in the overwhelmingly populated town of Boiling Springs. How about that?
Learn something new every day.
Especially here. By the way, you mentioned that you got flurries in Nebraska. It's pretty cold here. I think 50 is the high for the day. And it's supposed to actually get down close to freezing over the weekend, Lars. So we really don't know what to do.
So, Matt, I want to talk a little bit just about the game on Saturday, New Mexico State. It's 11 o'clock kick, SEC Network. Alabama's favored by 51. So the crowd is going to be minuscule. 11 a.m. game, playing a team that has a 1-8 record. Their only win of the season is over South Carolina State. And so I think Coach Saban wants to see how motivated his players are playing under those conditions. And I know they should be able to get up for any game, but you're playing a horrible team at an early time in front of a small crowd. So I think that'll kind of be the first thing that Nick Saban is going to be looking at. But then, if there was ever a time to give young players a chance to play, and I'm talking specifically about the offensive line, this may be it. We may see some different combinations on the line so Coach Saban and the offensive staff can just kind of take it out for a test drive. We saw last week Damian George came in, and so he had action at a right tackle, and that's when Chris Owens shifted to center because of Delacorte's sprained ankle. It's still unclear whether or not Delacorte's going to play. I doubt he will. And so maybe they will give the Brockermeyer twins a chance, or maybe they will give other freshmen a chance to see some significant action, just to see if they can get just the right combination as they hit the home stretch. Because clearly, rushing for 6 yards against LSU is not going to get it done. It may not get it done against Arkansas. I doubt that would get it done against Auburn. So to me, Matt, that's the number one thing I'm looking at is offensive line and what sort of combinations of players Coach Saban is going to use. How about you?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, and I agree, get your starters in there, play them for a half, get the game under control, and then really start finding guys that can play, substitution patterns along your offensive line. The catch-22 here is that, as you just mentioned, the Aggies are not very good. So what kind of test is that, even for a freshman? Well, probably physically, it's not much of one. You're going to get a better battle in practice. However, this, Lars, to be on the field, game conditions. This is not running against a scout team. This is crowd, although it will be down significantly. This is a game. Opponent aside, you're out there, you're in the huddle, you're checking off, you're checking down, quarterback, you're out there working with Bryce. And to that point, I think it's a huge game for Alabama's offensive front. And I would think about what are you going to get, 4 or 5 other guys in there and get them in there quick and let them play more than just a series? Because this offensive line is very much like Motown. It's rhythm. How was that?
Well done. Yes, and the five players have to play as sort of one living, breathing organism. With playing in concert with one another. I'm also going to be looking at the receivers, because it's been sort of surprising that so far this season, Mechie and Jameson Williams, a transfer from Ohio State, they've combined for 106 of the 216 total receptions. So who's that third wide receiver going to be? We certainly have seen JoJo Orel be very explosive on punt returns, but he just has 12 catches this year. Trayshawn Holden, another young player, he has 11 catches, and he's shown real quickness as well. Is it going to be somebody like Javon Baker, who's got 5 catches, Ajayi Hall with 1 catch? Who's going to be that third option in the pass game moving forward? And it's just Jaleel Billingsley has got to be one of the most sort of head scratching players on this team, because we really thought he was going to emerge as sort of a All-American type of player, playing that kind of hybrid tight end wide receiver position. And he just has 1 catch in the past 4 games. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but that's another thing I'll be looking at. And I know there probably won't be that much throwing because the game's going to get out of hand early. But I still think Alabama needs to have that third legit threat emerge in the passing game.
Yeah, and you've got to think that 1, 2, 3, 4 of those guys know it. And this is the game to step up, because you can get open. You can get yards after the catch. And this is a time to open up coaches' eyes, or maybe in the case of Billingsley, is to maybe put a lot of stuff behind him, because I think we can all read into the fact that because of his issues at the very beginning of the year, kind of what was wrong there, he got in Saban's doghouse. Let's just put it very, very simply. But it also brings up the question I ask, 4 or 5 times a week? Where's Trey Sanders?
That's a great question. It's Nick Saban talks so glowingly of his character and the fact that he's been able to make a comeback. But the staff obviously feels he's just not quite ready to be on the field, and maybe he's just still suffering from some lingering issues from the car accident. That's a speculation on my part, but I think it's a legit question, because they're missing that change of pace, speed back out of the backfield.
When we get back, I'm gonna have to do some research, which means, hey, Josh, help me out. Something's gonna happen tomorrow that I don't, in my years and years and years of covering Alabama and Auburn, I don't think has ever happened. And if it has, it hasn't been very recent. We'll get to that and more. There's Lars Anderson. He's in Nebraska. Matt Coulter in the AVX studios. Jay Barker is on assignment. Spend time with his family. That's a cool thing. We'll be right back with more of the Jay Barker Show, Bama Insider, and the many affiliates that have joined us literally from Huntsville to Destin.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
Your home for Alabama Crimson Tide football. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
1225 Sports Bar is the place to be on the Strip for your ultimate game day experience. 1225 Sports Bar is located 2 blocks from Bryant-Denny Stadium. Come meet our staff and enjoy some great food and drinks. 1225 is your new way to game day. With over 30 high-def TVs along with 5 VIP sections available with dedicated servers, security, and bottle service, we're 1225, your utmost game day destination for entertainment, food, and spirits. Get all the details and make reservations at the1225.com or call us at 205-872-1225.
Hugh will take it to the top of the arc. Watford 3 at the buzzer, blocked by Herb. The putback, no. The buzzer sounds, and Bama hangs on. Oh my goodness!
Get ready for a new season of Alabama basketball. The defending SEC champs are back in Coleman Coliseum, and the Tide hosts some of the biggest games of the year. Tickets are on sale now. Reserve your seats today at RollTide.com.
Everybody loves Taco Casa. Everything we do in our store, we prepare in our store. You know, we hand cut all of our tomatoes. We block and shred our own cheese here in the store. So we still hand cut our chips, our sopapillas, our taco shells, our chimalupa bowls. Our chili takes about 4 to 6 hours to make every single day. The goal in that is to provide the freshest, best quality to our customers. So we just look at it as, hey, basically, we're your kitchen. You're just coming to eat in your kitchen. Taco Casa, under the biggest cactus in town.
Hey, team, we landed the contract.
Yeah. Tayo's web design studio just landed the gig of a lifetime.
It starts next week.
Their staff needs to double before the dream deal becomes a nightmare.
I need front end, back end, a project manager.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Pride of Tuscaloosa and Lakeview Police Department are excited to bring opioid awareness to the Bibb County community with an easy way to dispose of unwanted and expired prescription drugs. Dropbox coming soon, located in Lakeview Police Department lobby address 22765, Central Park Drive, Lakeview, Alabama 35111, or call 205-477-1289. Pride of Tuscaloosa and Lakeview Police Department are excited to bring opioid awareness to the Bibb County community. That's opioid awareness for the Bibb County community at the Lakeview Police Department, brought to you by Pride of Tuscaloosa.
You know when you order a new video game, or a golf club, or a blender, and then it arrives at your door, you get a little thrill. Imagine how much more thrilling it is when you order a new car. With Nissan at Home, you can shop for the perfect ride and order it without ever having to go anywhere. Sure beats a golf club or a blender. Buy a new car entirely online with Nissan at Home, delivered direct from dealer to driveway. Thrill starts here. Services may vary at participating dealers, subject to applicable law. See dealer for details.
In a collision, easy decision. One name, one firm, one call. Mesrano.
I made that one call to Mesrano after being hit by an 18-wheeler. He got me $875,000.
I made that one call to Mesrano after being T-boned on McFarland. He got me $125,000.
I made that one call to Mesrano after my fender bender. He got me $50,000.
One call, one firm. Mesrano.
No representations made that quality of legal services to be performed is greater than quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Very nice afternoon. A good supply of sunshine. The high today 68. Turning noticeably colder tonight. Mostly fair with the low at 35. The weekend dry and very cool. Sunny tomorrow and Sunday. The high tomorrow 54. Sunday's high at 58. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 62 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Welcome back to the Jay Barker Show. Matt Coulter sitting in for Jay. He's on assignment. So is Lars. He, however, is joining us by the wonders of technology. He's somewhere in Alaska. Actually, he is in Nebraska, but it is snowing there. Lars, just thinking, listen to the blues guitar coming out of the break. What's the best concert you've ever been to?
Best concert I've ever been to. I saw Foo Fighters in New York City in a pretty small venue. That was great. Way back when my very first show was in Kansas City, small venue. Saw U2. I was I think 12 years old. They're on the War Tour, and was able just to get right up to the second row. And, there was just on a personal level, one evening, Taylor Hicks and I were hanging out and went to Marty's, a late night place in 5 Points. And
that's an early morning place.
Yeah. And so Taylor and I are in there, and this is when Marty was still with us. And he asked Taylor just to get up on stage, and there was just a handful of people there. And Taylor did, and this was not long after he'd won American Idol. And within like 20 minutes, the place was just packed, and Taylor was just ripping it up. And it was just so much fun just to see, just by word of mouth and texting, people telling their friends to come, and that was a really memorable night. How about you? What's your best show? Also, Grateful Dead. I saw them in Sandstone outside in Kansas City, and they were playing as the sun was setting in the middle of summer, right behind the stage, and it was so much fun.
I've never seen an artist perform and feed more off the crowd than Taylor does. It just, when those people started coming into Marty's, he just got amped and amped and amped.
Yeah.
My best ever is 1982. I saw the Stones at the Superdome with 86,000 of my dearest friends. It was absolutely incredible. Never experienced anything quite like that in my life. Tomorrow morning, Alabama and Auburn both kick off at 11 o'clock. Both of them. Now, our fine producer, Josh Smith, is doing some research on this. I just, off the top of my head, I don't remember both of them playing and kicking off in the morning. Has that happened recently, Lars?
Not that I can remember. Typically you don't want, if you're in the television business, you don't want Auburn and Alabama playing at the same time if they're not playing each other. So this is very, very rare indeed.
And I personally, professionally, on every platform possible, don't like them at all. Do you?
The 11 o'clock kicks? No, I don't. And it's no, I don't. I prefer just the 2:30. I mean, I remember growing up, all the games started at 1:30. It seemed like Central Time, and that gave people enough time to kind of have fun beforehand, and then have fun afterward. But if 11 o'clock kick, man, that can be pretty brutal to the serious tailgating crowd.
And to the serious frat guy who's been out all night anyway. Lars Anderson is in Nebraska. Jay's taking the day off. I'm Matt Coulter. Hey, one of our sponsors is Rock and Roll Sushi. I dine there often. They got the California rolls, and all their sushi are fabulous. But I tried their steak teriyaki the other day. I didn't get to eat much of it because my wife. That's how good it was. And that's what a nice guy I am, because I let that happen. We'll be back on the other side of this break.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. Achieving your personal best often comes down to how you feel. And when it comes to the right shoes, nothing feels better than New Balance. The fit specialists at the New Balance Birmingham store conduct an in-depth analysis of your foot size, shape, and gait, determining the best New Balance shoes for you. Experience the difference of custom fit today at the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, your feet will thank you.
At Schaefer Plastic Surgery, not only they treat you like family, you get a free opening consultation. Not normally you get that for elective surgeries you do with Dr. Schaefer. And he also combines experience gained from nearly 2 decades in practice, 8 years in advanced training to achieve beautiful, transformative results for his patients. As a board-certified plastic surgeon, Dr. Schaefer's goal is to teach patients while being dedicated to safety before during the procedure. Go online at SchaeferPlasticSurge.com. That's SchaeferPlasticSurg.com or 205-278-7969. For more information and located on Highway 280 across from Grandview Hospital. I'm excited to tell you about our newest sponsor here on the Jay Barker Radio Network. They pioneered the Chicken Finger Box and the Chicken Finger Restaurant.
That's get tickets.
Recipes and processes are often imitated, but never duplicated. Their sauce is probably the most copied sauce of all sauces all time. And I've known this family since my days down in Tuscaloosa, and they came over, and man, I tell you, it's nostalgic even today to see my kids going to that same Guthrie's. And great family, do so much for the community, but more importantly, provide the best when it comes to chicken fingers. Get out to Guthrie's today. I want to tell you about my good friends at Southern Assurance Group. Hi, it's Jay Barker. And look, Ken Needham has done a terrific job. Local company, 205-980-1505 is their number. That's 980-1505. Again, local, you can speak with the same team every time you give them a call. Full line of products from auto, home, boat, life. You'll trust them. They have a great deal as far as the relationships they build with their customers and 20 years with the same company and industry. Custom approach for your insurance needs. Give them a call, 980-1505. That is Southern Assurance Group. Hi, it's Jay Barker. I want to give my good friends Craig and Keith at Birmingham Broker. Go online at BhamBroker.com or 205-716-1269. We got 7 kids, man, and we had to sell a lot of cars. And these guys are looking for a lot of inventory. They helped us with all the hassle. No stress for us. They did the process as far as sales and everything, handled it all the way through. White glove type service. You'll love it. Again, it's BhamBroker.com. Sell your car through BhamBroker.com or 205-716-1269. Whether it's for lunch or dinner, head out to the Cajun Steamer. It's a New Orleans-style joint that serves authentic Cajun and Creole food, cold beer, and great drinks. They are known for their wide array of Cajun classics prepared in an authentic fashion. This Louisiana kitchen can have you slapping the table for more. Stop by the Cajun Steamer and sign up for your Alabama, LSU, or Auburn fan card. Eat with the Cajun Steamer while your team is on TV and use your fan card to receive a 15% discount on your entire meal. With locations in Hoover, Trustful, Huntsville, and Franklin, Tennessee, they've got you covered. Head out today to the Cajun Steamer.
It's Antonio Langham here to tell you about the easiest way to buy your tickets to your next high school game. Have you ever had to wait in line to buy a high school ticket or stop to get cash on the way to the game? There has to be a better way. There it is. It's called GoFan. Check out GoFan.co the next time you need a ticket for a high school game. GoFan is easy, fast, and completely secure. You can buy tickets directly from your phone and just show the ticket at the gate. Download the GoFan app or visit GoFan.co now. That's GoFan.C.O. Birmingham's best Mexican restaurant for over 20 years in counting. That's Slive's Restaurant at Crestline Village and Mount Laurel. They've got a great staff. Its delicious menu, award-winning cheese dip, and margaritas and vibrant atmosphere have helped to make La Paz a local favorite. Blue corn nachos, Texas barbecue quesadillas, steak and blue quesadillas, Baja fish tacos, signature fajitas, and much, much more. So head over to La Paz today. If you want a great lunch or a great dinner, you'll find all that at La Paz, Crestline, and Mount Laurel for lunch or dinner.
WTUG HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Filmed with a view.
Touchdown. That championship trophy is headed back to Tuscaloosa. Now 15 dominating with this defense. Richardson breaks free on the sideline. End zone. How about that? You saw the Gatorade shower this time. I love it. Clippers wide open. The champions of college football. The roots of touchdown, great. Alabama back on top. To the end zone. Touchdown.
Here you go.
The Crimson Tide will not be denied. Devontae Smith cannot be stopped. Saban with his 7th national championship. National championship number 18. Absolute perfection.
Jay Barker led the Crimson Tide to a national championship in 1992. Winner of the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award and a finalist in New York for the Heisman Trophy. Voted the SEC Player of the Year. Drafted by the Green Bay Packers, seeing time with the New England Patriots and the Carolina Panthers. The winningest quarterback in Alabama history with the record of 35-2-1. Member of the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. Jay Barker brings that same championship quality and football expertise to his own radio network and show. Joining him is University of Alabama professor Lars Anderson, who is also a New York Times best-selling author and a 20-year veteran of Sports Illustrated. Live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham, The Jay Barker Show.
Yeah, and Quinterly, had 9, so we're, and he's going to be in double figures most of the night. He's a one more bucket, one more point away from having 6. So I thought it said how much we want to share the ball. Shackelford 17 kind of had us going early. Keon Ellis got going there a little bit later in the second half. Those two at 18 and 17, and then Juwan and JD with 12 each, and Darius Miles comes in off the bench and just over 16 minutes, scoring 11. I think it shows how deep we can be. We played in the rotation. I think, what do we have, 8 guys in double-digit minutes. Keon Ambrose gave us some good minutes when we got in foul trouble there. So, and I think Jason Holt will come along. It was needed more depth on the front court than we did kind of in that wing play tonight. But we've got good depth. We've got good players. The ball moves. We had 19 assists. I think, we didn't. We shot it pretty well from 3 tonight, but it wasn't like fire. I mean, we had Keon Ellis shot well. Quinterly could shoot better, but I think the ball's going to move. I think the ball's going to. You see, we tried to make a point of emphasis on finishing at the rim better. We were 16 and 24 at the rim. We had more assisted at the rim shots, which has been a big point of emphasis with us. So, the one play when JD Slash got the pass from our 5, I think plays like that are what we're looking for. I thought we did well with what we've been emphasizing.
Hello and welcome back to the Jay Barker Show. Jay's got the day off. Lawrence Anderson joining us from Lizard Horn, Nebraska. Actually, there are flurries. Meanwhile, Alabama said it was 50 earlier. Actually, it's going to get up to about 65 now. Tomorrow, the high will be around 50 as Alabama gets ready to take on New Mexico State and Auburn, Mississippi State. We heard from Nate Oats just a moment ago, and I was just thinking during the break, Lars, I may just get in the old vehicle and drive over there and watch Alabama play the Jackrabbits. First of all, because that's your father's alma mater. Second of all, because it's one of the greatest nicknames in all of athletics. And third, I just like to see these guys up close and personal. I like to see Davison, Hare, Miles also coming off the bench. And starting 5, about as solid as you're going to find really across, not just the SEC, but across the nation. This is a basketball team that has lots and lots of promise, right, man?
Absolutely. And Nate Oats is clearly building something very special in Tuscaloosa. Right now, when he commented 2 days ago on his recruiting class, he said a lot of interesting things, but you look at the 24/7 composite team rankings, Alabama is 3rd in the country, just behind Arkansas and Duke. I mean, that puts them ahead of, juggernauts like Kentucky, Kansas, the Blue Bloods. Last year, the recruiting class ended up ranked 15th, but this year's class, 2 5-stars. That's the first time in history Alabama's had 2 5-stars in the same class, 2 4-stars, and 1 3-star commit. And, it's a good mixture of players. And, it just seems like that Oats is in the process of building what could perhaps one day be a powerhouse. I mean, you're coming off an SEC championship, a Sweet 16 run. And I know Herb Jones was so important to that team last year. But if they can, if they hit like 30% of their threes and they get some decent play from 1 or 2 different big men and being sort of a rim protector, this could be another team that certainly capable of winning the SEC and making another deep run into March. I know we're a long ways away from that, Matt, but it's a brand of basketball that appeals to kids, up pace, fast. Just you got to open a shot, take it. Sort of the opposite of the old wooden. You have to pass the ball 3 times before taking a shot. But just your thoughts on what Nate Oats has been doing just in the last year and a half, really. and a pretty inspired hire by Greg Byrne, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it may be his signature hire before this is all said and done. It would not surprise me at all over the next year, even this upcoming season, if Alabama takes a trip to the Final Four. They are that good, not just in the SEC. They are that good nationally. And, Lars, I'm going to kind of drift back here a little bit. When I first went to the University of Alabama, C.M. Newton was the coach. And they had T.R. Dunn, Leon Douglas, Mule King. I could go on. It may be, and I'm a little biased because I guess I was there, maybe the best basketball team Alabama's ever had, and that says a lot. They're the ones that should have beaten Indiana and the last team to ever go undefeated and win a national championship, which they did in 1976. That Coliseum would absolutely rock. Just like it did the other night, students were outside at 3:30 in the afternoon to get their student tickets. We did the same thing. This was in 75, 76 with those great teams. And then right after CM, Wimp took over. And then Wimp brought his different style and his entourage in. And again, the students would be standing outside Coleman Coliseum just to get a ticket. And now, you get players, you got a great coach, all those things are important. But, Lars, there's a big emphasis on putting fannies, as Wimp used to always say, putting fannies in the seats. Well, it's the most season tickets, if my memory serves me correctly, and Josh can check it, most season tickets they've ever sold going into a season. They had over 12,000 people for their opener. I don't know that they've ever had a crowd quite that big. But
yeah,
very exciting times for Alabama basketball.
Yeah, there seems to be, according to people I've talked to, but none of this is really on the record. It's been sort of just background chatter, but it seems to be growing louder and louder and more momentum for a new basketball stadium at the University of Alabama. Yeah. One, do you think you could just keep sort of doing makeovers at Coleman, or do you think Alabama needs new facility to really make this run of success sustainable in the long term?
Because I went there and saw those great teams at Coleman, I've always been very hesitant to say, hey, Alabama needs a new basketball arena. But then a friend of mine sent me a screenshot where he was sitting the other night at the La Tech game. And he was so far away from the court. There are so many reasons, from recruiting to viewing to just stature of the program. Yes, I'm taking a very, very long time to tell you. It's hard for me to say. I got a lot of history there. Tear it down, build a new one, throw a pile of stuff over there. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, again, now is the time to do it. If you're going to do it when the excitement level is high, and the excitement level certainly based off of one game is at a fever pitch all-time high with this team, with a feeling that they have a legit chance at making the Final Four. I think it makes it easier for people to stroke rather large checks. So yeah, I think. Again, it sounds like things are happening behind the scenes, but nothing, no official word. But I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes the next major project of under Greg Byrne's tenure. And Greg Byrne, he's been on our show several times. He's talked to my class before. I think he's the best AD in the country. His dad, Bill Byrne, was the AD of Nebraska when Nebraska was winning the national championships in the 90s. And so it's really just sort of in his blood. And he's such a fundamentally nice guy. And, when he hired Nate Oats, it was basically a search committee of one. and they were really able to sort of keep it under wraps. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if there is an announcement, down the road, not in the immediate future, but down the road that a palatial basketball arena will go up, and it will be absolutely state of the art if they do it.
And it seems like it was just like last year, the last couple of years, that Alabama made very nice improvements to Coleman Coliseum, but that was probably a lot longer ago than my short little memory will allow. If a guy like me, an old schooler, says it's time, then I don't think I'm alone. And I think a lot of the old school guys, not necessarily in my income bracket, some of the others are about ready to me up and make it happen. And I want to say this too, Lars, because I know we're on Bama Insider, and Jay Barker is, world famous Hall of Fame quarterback from Alabama, and you're on the staff there, and I went to Alabama. It's an Alabama show for the most part. However, let us not forget what Andy Kennedy is doing on the South Side. And I saw Bruce Pearl, by the way, last night at the Mike Slive Foundation Beyond Blue event. What a great guy. The 80s, when you had Wimp and Sonny and Gene Bartow, were the best basketball years this state has ever seen at the collegiate level. And I think we're back, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's because of the coaches. And you're right. Bruce Pearl's done such a good job at Auburn, and that made them. I still think they should have won that Final Four game. They got jobbed by the officiating. But it's exciting. Hey, but Matt, on the other side, I want to run through just some national games this weekend in college football and get your thoughts and just take a sort of bigger picture look around the country.
What's the catchphrase now? Let's take a view from 30,000 feet. It used to be that people would just say, hey, let's look over that. Now we have to put a title on it. Lars Anderson. Hey. Snowy, Nebraska. Matt Coulter, the AVX studios here in Homewood, Birmingham, Alabama. Jay Barker's got the day off. When we come back, we will take that view and the national football picture.
This is the Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
You're home for Alabama Crimson Tide football. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
That's a no-whip, high-foam, 170-degree, sugar-free gingerbread latte.
Ah, yes, it's gingerbread latte season at Duchesne's Coffee Shop. He'll need a seasonal barista before his cookie starts to crumble.
Anything else? Oh, there's a list.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Has the pandemic affected your business? Even with more and more customers going online in the past 5 years, online business has grown greatly due to the pandemic. Now more than ever, it's important to have a strong online presence so that customers can find your business and products easily. That's where Townsquare comes in to help. Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free competitive analysis to see how your business stands up to the competition. And if you're one of the first to sign up, you'll get $500 in free advertising on this radio station. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
It's been tough talking to my doctor about constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. I finally laid all my symptoms out there and how they keep coming back. She said I may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. We agreed it's time to try something different.
Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Visit a doctor in person or online. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by Appy and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
Want to learn a new language so it will actually stick? Try Babbel. Practice real-life conversations in the Babbel app.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Get personalized help in Babbel's live online classes.
Classes are limited to 6 people, so everyone can get the help they need.
Review words and phrases with fun games, or dive into the culture with short videos. Whatever your learning style, Babbel gives you the tools you need. Babbel, more ways to learn. Now try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Step up your creativity now during Dell's Black Friday event with early access savings up to $300 off, including deals on the latest PCs with Intel Core processors, shop laptops, monitors, and more, plus free shipping. Call 800-BUY-DELL. That's 800-BUY-DELL.
Join Randy Smalley and me, Captain Ray, for the Randy and Ray Football Forecast, where we pick the games against the spread. It's this Friday night at 11 following the high school scoreboard show on Tide 100.9. Brought to you by Randy Smalley Floor and Tile.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So it's about time for an oil change? We've got what you need. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic or synthetic high mileage motor oil and an STP extended life oil filter for just $36.99. And you can get it all fast, your way. Just order online with our free same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Start your job today at AutoZone.com. Restrictions apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Very nice afternoon, a good supply of sunshine. The high today 68, turning noticeably colder tonight. Mostly fair with the low at 35. The weekend dry and very cool. Sunny tomorrow and Sunday. The high tomorrow 54. Sunday's high at 58. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 67 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Momentum and a lot of things that went on this week that our guys had to handle, and thought they did a good job of it. And to find a way at the end to come up the way we did, especially down there on the goal line, that defense, they were definitely tested. Give those guys a lot of credit. They played a really good game. There were some things I kind of knew going in based on the championship game last year. I think the 3 times I've played them, that I come out of the game every single time saying that's a much better football team than maybe the record shows. And, but for us, we know darn well sometimes the best thing is to have a quicker turnaround. Now we got a Friday night game, so we don't have a whole lot of time to kind of rest and lick the wounds of things that happened. But when you know there's some ways to get better, it's the best thing you can do is get right back to work, and probably going to be good for us to have a quicker turnaround a Friday night game.
The head coach of the Bearcats of Cincinnati, they play tonight. He mentioned Friday 3 or 4 times. That was post-game comments after their game with Tulsa. They were, quite honest, not very impressive, but as a good coach will say, builds up the other team. Win, lose, or draw. Makes you look better. But they play tonight at, I'm checking, I think it's 5 Central at Raymond James Stadium. Now, place you're certainly familiar with. I've broadcast a few games from there. You see any trouble for the Bearcats as they travel down to the Gulf Coast?
No, not at all. I think they'll come out and play really well because they know that they'll have a lot of eyeballs on them tonight. How about you?
No, but they seem to struggle when I don't think they're going to. So maybe they've been reading a lot of clippings and thinking they've been getting dissed, and maybe they get down there and overdo it. I don't think South Florida is going to win it, but it would not surprise me if it were another 27-20 game.
So looking at the schedule around the country, it's not the greatest weekend of the season by any stretch, but 3 games that have caught my eye, Matt. Now I want to just discuss them real quick. And number one is Michigan at Penn State, 11 o'clock kick on ABC. And you got to remember, Michigan, they still have a chance to win the Big Ten East. They're going to need some help. Given that they lost to Michigan State, but Michigan's lost their last 2 trips to Happy Valley, and the Nittany Lions have a top 10 defense. I think this is just an important game for Jim Harbaugh to sort of get the program moving in the right direction again. Michigan still has a chance at an outstanding year. But I definitely I think Michigan will pull away in this one in the fourth quarter. Your thoughts?
Really? This looks like that game Harbaugh loses every year when everybody wants him to win it and he needs to win it, even though it's on the road. I think the Wolverines, Chris Helmets in college football, by the way. I think the Wolverines are favored by 1.5 points, but this looks like a trap game. Actually, how can it be a trap game when these two teams are so evenly matched? I'm picking the Nittany Lions here. However, you're going with the Wolverines.
I'm going Michigan.
Oh, so cool.
Then
what about Oklahoma Baylor? That's a huge game too.
Yeah. That was the next one I want to talk about. On 11 o'clock on Fox, Oklahoma's coming off bye week. And they're really now getting into the pivotal part of their Big 10 or Big 12 schedule. Starts again tomorrow, going on the road to face Baylor. And Baylor, one of the better rushing teams in the country, averaging 230 yards a game on the ground. And this will be the second road start for freshman quarterback Caleb Williams for Oklahoma, who we both are amazed at how good the kid is. If they would have inserted him earlier, Oklahoma would probably be higher in the in the college football playoff standings, and Caleb Williams would probably be your Heisman front runner. But just the fact that people are even mentioning him in Heisman contention just after playing in such a few games is pretty impressive. But they've won their last 3 going to Baylor at McLean Stadium, but all 3 were decided by 10 points or less. So traditionally, these two teams have been playing each other very closely, but I like Oklahoma in this game, and I think Caleb Williams will come up big again.
You're right about the importance of this game. It's pretty big for Baylor, too. After all, they're 13th in the nation. It would be a huge home victory if they were able to defeat the Sooners. The deal here is, and you, Jay, and myself discussed this all week, maybe I've been a little bit more emphatic about it, but I don't understand why Oklahoma's 8 in the polls. I mean, they're undefeated. They're in a major conference. Here is the chance for Lincoln Riley to go, hey,
well, I think Tulsa should have beat them. Tulsa should have beat them. Nebraska should have beat them. Texas should have beat them. It's just that they have not earned any style points, and I think their past sort of hurts them as well by not performing well in the playoffs. And when you look at their defense, we thought those issues on the Oklahoma defense were resolved, but it's kind of like, here we go again with Oklahoma and their inability to make key defensive stops. But I agree. If they can win on tomorrow, and again, I think they will, they could, and they win convincingly, they can make a significant jump in the college football playoff polls, don't you think?
Yeah, and I think they all know that. I know the players do, the coaches do, the media does. But I've actually been to a couple of games at Baylor. It's not Death Valley on a Saturday night, but it's a good, raucous crowd. And I was there 10 years ago when they upset K-State, and it helped Alabama win a national championship. Do you remember that? I was sitting in the end zone. But
I don't.
It's not going to be the toughest venue for OU, but as I think I've probably chewed my cabbage a couple of times here, it is really a time for the Sooners to make a statement win and fight their way back in to potentially being in the top 4. But Lars, if they went out, are they in anyway?
Probably. Yeah, I would think so. Would you put them in an undefeated Oklahoma over a 1-loss Georgia? I mean, let's say Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC championship game. I don't think so. I think Georgia's going to be in regardless. And by the way, let's just go to Georgia here. The third game that I find very intriguing is the 2:30 kick on CBS, and it's Tennessee at Georgia. This is Georgia's last SEC regular season game, and they can complete a perfect 8-0 record in the SEC. Georgia still has Charleston Southern and Georgia Tech left on the schedule, but clearly their biggest test is this game. Tennessee, they've improved so much, as Alabama fans know. They're averaging just over 38 points a game. But here's an incredible stat, Matt. Georgia has not allowed more than 13 points in a single game this season. So it will be interesting to see if Tennessee and the Volunteer offense can put some points up and move the ball and make this a contest, make it close. Something tells me that it's not going to be the case, that Georgia knows that they really are an elite team. They're certainly favored to win the national championship. So I do like Georgia in this game, but again, you want to see just the matchup. The most intriguing matchup is the Tennessee offense against that Georgia defense.
Yeah, that is one of these classic strength against strength matchups. And this game used to be really, really big back in the day with Fulmer, and I guess at that time Mark Richt was there. But let's cut to the chase here, Lars. Since you are a man not afraid to talk about it or tell people that you like to lay a sawbuck or whatever, who would you take? Tennessee is at home, though. Okay, Georgia is 20-point favorite.
It's in Athens, isn't
it? This says Neyland Stadium.
Okay, my bad.
Let's go to Josh to find out. But
and what's the spread again?
20.
I'd be inclined to take Tennessee. I'd be inclined to take Tennessee, but I get everything wrong. 5-4 Tennessee. The line opened at 20.5, and it's currently 20. So, and it stayed at 20 all week. So, yeah, I would probably lean Tennessee. But, literally the last 10 games I've asked you for advice on, you know what your record is, right? And then therefore my record, because I actually took your advice. 0-10. 0-10. I mean,
that's what you get. That's what you get for gambling. First of all,
it is almost impossible to go 0-10. Even if you tried to do it again, you couldn't go 0-10.
Oh well, now you're putting it in my mind, and I start picking right. I would take Georgia.
I'm just going to start asking you and doing the absolute opposite.
Hey, I've never done that. I mean, I'm not saying I've never. I may have placed a bet 20 years ago. When you start working with and around programs, I'm no moral compass here, but I just stopped doing it. Plus, I'm cheap. I didn't like losing, and as you can tell, I probably lost a lot.
Yeah.
I'm always intrigued by those huge.
Yeah, I don't like losing either, Matt. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I know you don't. That's why you're taking Tennessee. Was there another national game?
Well, I Purdue not too long ago was ranked in the top 20. They're traveling to Ohio State, and Ohio State's a 21-point favorite. But Purdue, they can jump up and get you. I mean, they just beat Michigan State, and Michigan State had everything to gain and everything to lose in that game. and Purdue took it to them. So I think I don't know if Purdue can necessarily upset Ohio State when they're playing in the horseshoe, and because Ohio State's playing at a very high level right now. But it's just a game to keep an eye on.
There's one other that's certainly national spotlight, but it's also closer to home, the SEC. We're going to talk about that game on the other side of this break, and that's the Aggies are going to Oxford. Pretty significant game, especially if you pull for A&M. I mean, there's no other way to put it. That's a must-win situation. Jay Barker's got the day off. I'm Matt Coulter sitting in his chair. Lars Anderson is right there, coming to us live by the wonder of technology. As we speak, he is in snowy Nebraska. We'll be right back with the Jay Barker Show.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
1 in 7 men will face prostate cancer. Nearly 500 new cases are diagnosed every day in the U.S. Traditional treatments can cause erectile dysfunction and urinary incontinence. But now there's a new option, high-intensity focused ultrasound, or HIFU.
Men who are really looking for an option that really preserves their urinary and sexual function are great candidates for HIFU treatment.
Preserve your quality of life. Call 866-4-VITURO or visit VituroHealth.com.
Hi, it's Jay Barker for AVX, Audio Video Excellence. They are the premier provider for custom audio-visual design and installation in the Southeast. AVX seeks excellence in everything it does, including a superior employee experience. AVX offers employees an industry-leading salary, insurance benefits, and 401k options. AVX technicians also receive the highest level of certification and continued training, making it one of the most awarded and decorated companies in the industry. Career opportunities are available now for technicians in Birmingham and Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Join the AVX team by contacting them at avxinc.com.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. If you're average and you're looking for a new pair of running or walking shoes, I suggest you go to an average shoe store where they'll sell you a pair of average shoes built for the average person with average size feet. But here's the thing, you're not average. No one is. We all exercise differently. We run differently. We walk differently. And our feet come in all sorts of widths and lengths. That's why at the New Balance Birmingham store, we employ fit specialists who will conduct an in-depth analysis of your foot's size and shape along with your gait and then determine the best New Balance shoes custom fit to you. Because New Balance isn't your average shoe and you're not average either. Experience the difference an unaverage custom fit makes today at the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, your feet will thank you.
Hi, it's Jay Barker. I want to tell you about my good friends Craig and Keith at Birmingham Broker. Go online at bhambroker.com. That's bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Got 7 kids, man, and we had to sell a lot of cars. And these guys are looking for a lot of inventory. They helped us with all the hassle. No stress for us. They did the process as far as the sales and everything. Handled it all the way through. White glove type service. You'll love it. Again, it's bhambroker.com. Sell your car through bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Hi, it's Jay Barker for Siebel's in downtown Homewood, and now's the time to get your special place ready. Come in and let Siebel's design your porch with Kingsley Bait outdoor furniture and one of their custom swinging beds. For the great room, you're going to need their Carson swivel recliner. Siebel's is the #1 Carson recliner dealer in the country, and Sarah and I, we've got one, and we absolutely love it. Be sure also to check out their famous custom-made beds and bunk beds built by Siebel's and made up with some of their best linens in town. Their staff can truly put your bed together like no other store. You can also follow Siebel's and shop on Instagram and Facebook. And be sure to call or go by their special store in downtown Homewood. The number is 800-448-1962. That's 800-448-1962. And just for listening, go to SiebelsCottage.com and order anything you want and type in Jay Barker for a special discount code. That's Jay Barker for a special discount code available only to our listeners for a limited time on The Jay Barker Show. Siebel's in downtown Homewood or online at SiebelsCottage.com.
It's Antonio Langham here to tell you about the easiest way to buy your tickets to your next high school game. Have you ever had to wait in line to buy a high school ticket or stop to get cash on the way to the game? There has to be a better way. There is. It's called GoFan. Check out gofan.co the next time you need a ticket for a high school game. GoFan is easy, fast, and completely secure. You can buy tickets directly from your phone and just show the ticket at the gate. Download the GoFan app or visit gofan.co now. That's gofan.co. Letter C, letter O.
Kirby, are there similarities setting up this season with what guys who had the option of turning pro but didn't, but came back, like Jamari, Jordan, Devontae? Are there similarities between the message that sent and the effect it's had, and maybe what happened after your first year with Sony, Nick, and all those? I know every team is different, every player is different, but are there still some similarities there?
Yeah, I think there's always some similarities. I think it's a great story, Cinderella story, feel-good story, but I'll be honest with you, most guys base that decision on where they're going to be drafted, right? It's a business decision more than it is a Cinderella decision. Once they decide that the business is right to come back and play better, then it becomes all about, run it back. Let's do this again. Let's play better. But if the business decision is to go, which was what Stokes had, right? What Tyson had, then that's the decision they have to make as football players. Aziz was the same way. So I think it's more about where they're graded, and really in the same case of all those guys you're talking about that came back that year, whatever it was, 2016, 2017. They most of them needed to come back. They made a good business decision to be able to come back. I think a lot of times you guys, or there's a perception that guys get they overshoot themselves in terms of what their draft status actually is, because you guys maybe go off of I don't know, PFF, or maybe somebody that tells you something. I don't know. We go off what the general managers tell us, and what the general managers tell us most of the time, they're pretty accurate. I mean, I think there's nobody that we've missed on outside of one round, plus or minus. Like if we told Stokes he was a 2, he went 1. Never had one that was 2 rounds off.
As you saw or heard, Kirby Smart, courtesy of Dog Nation. My first take is, we don't talk about Georgia's offense very much unless we're talking about the 2 quarterbacks. My overwhelming take, though, is Kirby lose that visor. Whoa, bad look, Kirby. Do you like visors? Do you wear visors when you play golf, Lars?
No, I'm not a visor guy. Not really a hat guy either, but I don't get it. I've never really understood the visor look. Lane Kiffin loves it. Plenty of coaches do. Kirby, but yeah, not for me.
No, me either. But more importantly, what kind of weigh out the quarterback situation at Georgia for me, Lars Anderson?
Well, that's a good question. I think there's still just some questions about the health of. You caught me off guard here.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, what's your assessment? What's your assessment?
I just think Daniels is the better quarterback, but Bennett's been winning football games. And you weren't real high on him last year, but you've kind of not totally flipped the coin, but you've kind of changed your thoughts on him. He is smaller in stature. I don't think he has the arm nor the touch that JT does. But, hey, he's just putting W's in the column.
Yeah, and Bennett has really developed as a down the field passer, and he has enough arm strength. He started 5 games, and Georgia's dominated all of them. He's going to start again on Saturday against Tennessee. But yeah, JT Daniels came back and he played a little bit last week, but still, you're just unsure of JT Daniels' health. But something tells me there's going to come a critical moment this season when they're going to need JT Daniels. When their defense gives up something like 21 points. And I know I just said that so far this year, no one scored more than 13 against Georgia. But I just think at some point, JT Daniels is going to play a very key role for this team. That's just my hunch.
All right, let's talk about what's going on in Oxford. I know I'm not throwing you a curveball on this one. A&M is a slight favorite. This is a must-win situation for the Aggies if they want to stay in the chase here.
Yeah, I mean, the Aggies still have an outside shot of making it to Atlanta. You know, if Alabama were to stumble against either Arkansas or Auburn in the Iron Bowl, which is always possible, then Arkansas would, I believe, make it in. Actually, it could be Auburn if it was a three-way tie. I would have to go back and look that up because I'll go back to head-to-head. Yeah, a key game. Also, I want to see Matt Corral go against this Aggie defense and what Lane Kiffin can come up with. And, you know, is Lane Kiffin auditioning for the LSU job still? Who knows sort of what's going on behind the scenes, but you certainly know that agents and ADs and search committees are all talking behind closed doors. So, yeah, and is Matt Corral still a legit Heisman Trophy contender? If he has a big night on a pretty big stage, then I think it would strengthen his case. Right now, I'd probably say that I don't even know who the front runner is. Maybe it's a running back from Michigan State, but I think Matt Corral has a chance tonight on Saturday to make a statement.
There you see it. Compliments of Connor O'Gara and our producer Josh Smith. Bryce Young is your leading candidate. C.J. Stroud, you're talking about Walker, Mississippi State, Matt Corral, and then Caleb Williams. I could go on and on. Just got a text from a dear friend of mine, 5-time All-Pro in the NFL. He's been on every show I've ever hosted, Lars, and he's going to join us. We'll take a very, very quick break and get back. I know you knew this guy. He's a Midwest guy, but one of my all-time favorite people. You'll find out in a moment, Lars. He has the greatest laugh in the history of interviews. Now I'm building this up. Very special guest, one of my all-time, like I said, one of my all-time favorite people is going to join us in just a couple of minutes right here on the Jay Barker Show.
You're listening to the Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
Your home for Alabama Crimson Tide football. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
That's a no-whip, high-foam, 170 degrees, sugar-free.
Ah, yes. It's gingerbread latte season at Duchesne's Coffee Shop. He'll need a seasonal barista before his cookie starts to crumble.
Anything else? Oh, there's the list.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates with resumes and Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Black Friday's here at JCPenney. And so are even more new Black Friday deals this Friday through Sunday. Don new Champion apparel for the family up to 40% off. Plus, find a little extra sparkle in your savings with up to 75% off fine jewelry. These deals and more end Sunday. Happy Black Friday, JCPenney. Offers valid on select items 11/12. Exclusions apply. Champion excluded from coupons. See store or jcp.com for details.
It takes two vaccines to help protect you this season, the flu and COVID-19.
And now you can get both shots at the same visit. Learn more at cdc.gov/vaccine.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt?
I owe the IRS $37,000.
Get ready for a toll-free hotline. Take advantage of new IRS tax forgiveness programs that may protect you from IRS collection agencies. They have the power to garnish your wages, put liens on your property, and levy your bank account. Civic Tax Relief can help protect you from the IRS.
Civic Tax Relief basically represented me against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't owe the IRS anything.
Find out about the Fresh Start program that is now available through Civic Tax Relief. Civic Tax Relief's special tax hotline can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
Just call 800-324-4522. 800-324-4522. Don't wait. Call now. 800-324-4522. 800-324-4522.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Step up your creativity now during Dell's Black Friday event with early access savings up to $300 off, including deals on the latest PCs with Intel Core processors, laptops, monitors, and more, plus free shipping. Call 800-BUY-DELL. That's 800-BUY-DELL.
Don't miss a play at the Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Your front row seat to all the action. Place bets on all professional and most college sports at the counter, kiosk, or on your phone. Then catch the game on one of our 20 big screens from the comfort of the newly remodeled Timeout Lounge. Plus, the PRR Sports app gives you access to live in-play sports betting. Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Be more than a fan. Be a player. Must be 21.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Very nice afternoon. A good supply of sunshine. The high today 68. Turning noticeably colder tonight. Mostly fair with the low at 35. The weekend dry and very cool. Sunny tomorrow and Sunday. The high tomorrow 54. Sunday's high at 58. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 67 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Back on the Jay Barker Show, Matt Coulter along with Lars Anderson. And to wrap up the show and keep my streak alive, bringing Tom Banks on every possible radio show I've ever done. Got in touch with Tom. You know him from his wonderful days at Auburn. And of course, his all-pro years. I think still considered the best offensive line in the history of the NFL at St. Louis Cardinals. Hey, Tom, it's Matt and Lars Anderson. How are you, man?
Yeah, good, man. How about you?
Everything's great. Hey, our streak is still alive, Tom. You're on the show again.
Always good to talk to you, Matt. You know, we go back to that first year with the Stallions, and I really enjoy playing here in Birmingham because of being from here and my family all being in the stands, and my son being able to come into the locker room afterwards, and it was just a great experience.
Yeah, and I'm limited here on time, so I'm going to ask you a quick question, and I'll let Lars ask you one, too. Lars is a big Cincinnati Bengals fan, so don't hold that against him. But the day y'all allowed what? Hart got sacked 8 times in 1 year? Is that the –
It was actually only 7, but they Jim Bakken, our field goal kicker, they had a fake field goal, and he got tackled behind the line of scrimmage, so they called that a sack.
That doesn't. Hey, what's the biggest difference between offensive lines of the 70s and what we see today?
But how big they are. You know, I never weighed more than 245 the whole time I was playing, and our biggest guy was Dan, about 280. And now you have over 300 pounds if you even be considered.
Lars Anderson,
man, it's all passing now. So most of these guys don't even get down into a 3-point stance anymore.
Tom, one of the main issues at Auburn over the last few years has been the poor play of the offensive line. What have you seen out of the offensive line this year as opposed to the last few seasons?
Well, they're at least attempting to come off the ball and to become more physical. That was one thing I had a problem with Gus Malzahn. He wanted to talk about being more physical, but they wouldn't do the things that it takes to be more physical. That starts back in winter workouts and goes into the spring. And you got to get down and dirty every day to be a good have a good running game. And they just weren't willing to do that back then.
Hey, Tom, I'm trying to think of the thousands of stories that you have told me over the years. But I'm gonna pick one out. Tell us about your relationship with one Bob Baumhauer on a Monday night.
Well, they came to St. Louis on Thanksgiving Day back in 1977, and we had a pretty fair year at the time. I don't remember what our exact record was. We had a winning record, and I mean they put it on us that day. Bob Greasy never missed a pass. We couldn't get anything going on with our offense. They had a great defense. Bob Baumhauer and A.J. Dewey were both rookies and playing great. And they just had a fine team. And we caught them on a really good day, and we were off. And it was a sad situation because we ended up having a big fight in the middle of the field. But my buddy Conrad Dobler ended up slamming his helmet down when he got through out of the game, and the helmet bounced up into the stands. I mean, it was just that kind of day.
We once did a poll at Sports Illustrated where I was working there, the dirtiest player in NFL history, and Conrad Dobler's name kept coming up. Is that accurate?
He proudly wore that badge. He enjoyed that kind of reputation, and he was as tough as they come. I got to tell you, his whole game was intimidation. And I got to tell you this one thing real quick. He ran Merlin Olsen out of a game in 1976. Now, this is the guy who's been in the Pro Bowl 12 times, one of the great defensive linemen of all time. Middle of the fourth quarter, he raises his hand and goes to the sideline. In those days, you did not leave the game unless you had a bone sticking out of your skin. So we were just like, damn, Conrad, that was something, man. He was 2 feet away from me. I was the whole thing. He kicked him all over the field.
And down goes Olsen. Hey, Tom, we'll do this again real soon. Jay has been nice enough to allow me to step into the show. We're going to do it more often. And we need to do one of these interviews and spend more than just 5 minutes. But, hey, thanks for letting me catch you on the fly. Before we go, what's the best meet and greet in our area?
Oh, gosh. I live down in Montevallo now, and we don't get up. I still go for the I like Nick's out on Finney Avenue.
Yeah.
It'd be my go-to, too. Thanks, Tom. We'll talk again soon. Hey to Sissy.
Oh, I will. Thank you, man. Always good to talk to you, buddy. Take care.
Yeah, you too. Oh, you know what, Lars? Might be the subject of your next book. Anyway. Hey, enjoy the snow. Hey, make a snowman.
We're going to be doing snow angels here in a couple minutes.
See you, Lars. Best to Jay Barker, and thank you to our wonderful, talented producer, Josh Smith. Have a great weekend.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. Achieving your personal best often comes down to how you feel. And when it comes to the right shoes, nothing feels better than New Balance. The fit specialists at the New Balance Birmingham store conduct an in-depth analysis of your foot size, shape, and gait, determining the best New Balance shoes for you. Experience the difference of custom fit today at the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. Your feet will thank you.
1 in 7 men will face prostate cancer. Nearly 500 new cases are diagnosed every day in the U.S. Traditional treatments can cause erectile dysfunction and urinary incontinence. But now there's a new option, high-intensity focused ultrasound, or HIFU.
Men who are really looking for an option that really preserves their urinary and sexual function are great candidates for HIFU treatment.
Preserve your quality of life. Call 866-4-VITURO or visit VituroHealth.com.
I'm excited to tell you about our newest sponsor here on the Jay Barker Radio Network. They pioneered the chicken finger box and the chicken finger restaurant. That's Guthrie's. Guthrie's recipes and process are often imitated, but never duplicated. Look, their sauce is probably the most copied sauce of all sauces all time. And I've known this family since my days down in Tuscaloosa, and they came over, and man, I tell you, it's nostalgic even today to see my kids going to that same Guthrie's. And great family, do so much for the community, but more importantly, provide the best when it comes to chicken fingers. Get out to Guthrie's today. I want to tell you about my good friends at Southern Assurance Group. Hi, it's Jay Barker, and look, Ken Needham has done a terrific job. Local company, 205-980-1505 is their number. That's 980-1505. Again, local, you can speak with the same team every time you give them a call. Full line of products from auto, home, boat, life. You'll trust them. They have a great deal as far as the relationships they build with their customers, and 20 years with the same company and industry. Custom approach for your insurance needs. Give them a call, 980-1505. That is Southern Assurance Group. Hi, it's Jay Barker. I want to tell you about my good friends Craig and Keith at Birmingham Broker. Go